Jam-packed standing room only crowd watched the Wildcats in an inter-squad exhibition game. These folks paid up to $12.50 for a front row seat in a high school gym. Most of them came to see if Sam Bowie was really back after sitting out a couple of years with a foot injury. Well, Bowie is not the same. You could see that quickly. The timing is off. He still can't jump, but his presence at 7'1" will certainly take the pressure off 6'11" Melvin Turpin, who was awesome. While Bowie scored only 6 points, Turpin scored 34. Hit all 15 of his shots from the field, and of course some of those from close range, you might say. With both big men available and possibly playing at the same time, what a team this could be.
Both of them, Bowie plays forward and I play center. If not, I know Sam is a good player because I went to him a lot of times last year. And if I start, well, that's great too. If I don't, well, it happens. But one thing does count, I think, is both of us are two great players. And if one's on the bench, one gets tired right after playing, the other one can come in and just give 110% on the court.
Well, I think time will really have to tell on that part. But right now, I feel good. My health has been good. I no longer have a mental block as far as the game is concerned, and I think things will come back to normal. I'm just happy to be out playing with the team again. It's been a long 2-year ordeal with my leg, but I'm very happy being out here. Hopefully I'll be able to contribute to the team this year.
And the Wildcats will open up their regular season on November 26th against the University of Louisville Cardinals. Right here on Channel 4, you'll be able to see it that evening. That'll be a great one.
The freshmen are fine, but a running partner at guard with Jim Master may never cross the line. Tony Toronto has more.
Here comes Gordon. Wagner wants the...
Last March, Kentucky ends its season on a sour note. The Wildcats soundly beaten by rival Louisville in the NCAA tournament. Although the defeat is hard to forget, this is a new season, and Coach Joe Hall will field a very talented squad. Sam Bowie returns after a 2-year layoff, joining stars like Melvin Turpin, Jim Master, and Kenny Walker. Talent-wise, Kentucky is very impressive, definitely a contender for the national title. But there are question marks. Only time will tell how good the Wildcats will be.
I call them the if troops, and it's an iffy season. If Sam Bowie comes back 100%, if Dickie Beal can go on his knee, it sounds more like a soap opera than a basketball team. Kenny Walker is still having trouble with his back at this time, so we really can't predict what's going to happen. And if everybody comes around, we'll have a very, very good team. If not, well, we don't know.
Of course, we're optimistic. I think everybody should be optimistic, and no matter what you do. So we're looking forward to trying for the national championship, but just basically trying to get better and better each game, and hopefully we'll be a good team by March. Really, all the optimistic viewpoints of this year is based on my return. And I can truthfully say that that's unfair, not only for myself, but for the team, because I haven't been out for 2 years, and you should go ahead and base your facts on the things that have happened in the past. And like I said, last 2 years, I haven't even been out there.
This just might indeed be the year of the Wildcat. If Bowie plays anywhere near expectations, another championship banner should hang in Rupp Arena. Tony Troiano, Channel 5, Eyewitness Sports, Lexington, Kentucky.
National champions for Coach Joe B. Hall. In Louisville, the magnificent McRaes are gone, but Lancaster Gordon, Milt Wagner, and Charles Jones form the nucleus of the team that beat Kentucky in last year's Mideast Regional. And then, of course, there's Denny Crum, quite simply the best bench coach in college basketball. The Tar Heels of North Carolina are almost everybody's #1. Led by All-Americans Sam Perkins and Michael Jordan, they're every bit as good as the '82 national champs. They have a solid backcourt, promising freshmen, in short, everything. And Dean Smith and company would love to make it 2 out of 3 come spring. The Houston Cougars are already working on the loss column, but with Akeem the Dream, their only problem seems to be Guy Lewis's recurring nightmare about NC State. As Patrick Ewing goes, so goes the fortunes of Georgetown. The Hoyas lost no one, and they won't lose many games either, which should cut down considerably the time Coach John Thompson spends pacing and mopping. An easy schedule is an instant advantage for Memphis State, but they also have the sensational Keith Lee and a 6'7" sophomore with one of the game's great names. Are you ready? Baskerville Holmes. The Iowa Hawkeyes will probably dominate the Big Ten. Greg Stokes will score in bunches, and Michael Payne will play better defense. In fact, so will Stokes, courtesy of new head coach George Ravely. The Georgia Bulldogs will rely on veterans Vern Fleming and James Banks, but the surprise of last year's tournament will be hard-pressed to repeat those postseason heroics. But you can bet Hugh Durham will try. Oklahoma won't confuse anybody this year. The Sooners are Wayman Tisdale, and then, of course, there's Wayman Tisdale. The Shockers of Wichita State always have a solid program, and this season look for Xavier McDaniel to fill it up from everywhere, but mostly on the jam. Perennial power Indiana won't be, so good night, Mr. Knight. Big 8 power Kansas found a way to get somebody from the NBA to go back to college, new head coach Larry Brown. And the Blue Demons' Ray Meyer will say goodbye all season long. North Carolina State couldn't even get a preseason ranking, but Spud Webb, looking like the reincarnation of Calvin Murphy, led the Wolfpack past Houston in the season opener. Lorenzo Charles had the last-second stuff that gave State the championship last year, and now Jimmy Valvano and the Pack are 2-0 against Phi Slamma Jamma. The Oregon State Beavers will again be a power in the West, mainly because they can hit from just about anywhere. And if you're wondering just how anybody could possibly make a shot like this, well, it might have something to do with the wisdom imparted by head coach Ralph Miller.
See that? What is that, Harold?
A brand new basketball.
Brand new basketball. It is the most important thing on the floor. You can't score without the ball.
And on that note of wisdom from Ralph Miller, we'll take a look at our top 20. North Carolina, everybody's consensus #1, is also #1 in our top 20, followed by Kentucky, Memphis State, Georgetown, and Louisville checks in at #5. Then Iowa, Maryland, Houston, even though they had that opening loss to NC State, they won big today over Kansas. Wichita State, and a team from California you don't see in the top 20 too often, Fresno State. As you look at the second 10, UCLA, a team from California that's always there, LSU on down, Georgia all the way through to Kansas, who actually dropped from 18 to 20 today. We'll be back with more after this. The last time these two teams met was exactly 8 months ago to the day in the Mid-East Regional. And in the waning moments of the game, Kentucky's Jim Master made this jumper that sent that contest into overtime. But in the overtime period, it was Lancaster Gordon, Milt Wagner, and all Louisville as the Cardinals won going away by 12 points. Could the outcome be the same tonight? We'll know very shortly. But coming up right now, we've got a preview look at the Louisville Cardinals with Skip Carey.
A year ago, the Cardinals were 32-4, made it to the Final Four under Denny Crum. Here's one of the reasons. Junior backliner Milt Wagner, he's out of Camden, New Jersey, averaged more than 14 points a game. He may play some small forward in the game tonight, depending on how it goes, and the Louisville people very high on him and on this fella. Lancaster Gordon, they tout him as an All-America prospect, a 6'3 senior from Jackson, Mississippi, good speed, good defensive player, good dribbler, and a pretty good shooter. And you can see he can explode. That's Lancaster Gordon. The big men have their work cut out for them in the game tonight. Charlie Jones is the biggest, 215 pounds, 6'8", out of Scuba, Mississippi, and he'll be in there against those Twin Towers. Keeping him out of foul trouble will be a big item in the game tonight. A good-looking youngster, Billy Thompson, also 6'8", out of Camden, New Jersey, played impressively as a freshman a year ago. He's a 200-pounder, and his bulk will be needed in the contest this evening. Off the bench, Jeff Hall out of Ashland, a sophomore guard, a good jump shooter, and a pretty good defensive player. Manuel Forrest, coming off knee surgery that cost him most of last year, should see some playing time up front. He's 6'7", and they need that size against these guys. This freshman may or may not play. He's going to be a good one. He's out of Atlanta, Mark McSwain. Denny Crum talks to him. Billy Thompson talks to you about the upcoming game.
If you drop step to here and bring this foot around, then you're traveling.
Yes, I'm looking forward to playing in the Kentucky game November 26th because it is a rival. We beat them last year. We didn't beat them the way we wanted to beat them. We felt that we were much better than we exhibited the first half, and we felt down on ourselves, although we did win the game personally as a team, outside of the coaches, because they put a lot of trust in us and they felt we should have gave a little more than what we gave. So this year we're going to play harder and give that extra 5%, and we're going to show the real Louisville.
Coach, what's it going to take for Louisville to win the game?
Well, I think defense usually determines who wins these games, and if we're weaker this year, that's the area we're weaker in. We don't have the experience of Scooter and Rodney McRae at the forward spots for us, and I think that's our biggest weakness. The most experienced forward we've got is Billy Thompson, is a sophomore that's never started a game, and nor has our other forward who's starting, Manuel Force, ever started a game. So that's our biggest weakness, and for us to win against Kentucky, especially here on their floor, we're going to have to do a real good job team-wise on their big people. It's awful hard for us to guard one 7-footer with a 6'8" center, let alone 2 7-footers. I think that's got to be our biggest problem.
You have the edge in quickness. They certainly have the edge in size.
We better have the edge in quickness, because we certainly don't have it in size, and if we can't make our press effective, well, we've got problems.
Good luck, Coach.
Thank you, Skip.
And when we come back, we'll give Joe Dean and the Kentucky Wildcats equal time. This is Turner Network Television.
Scouting report on the Kentucky Wildcats. Head coach Joe B. Hall. He's won over 70% of his games as a head coach. Dickie Beal, the 5'11" senior guard, knee operation, has some problems. No lateral movement, probably won't start in the game. In his place will be Roger Harden, an Indiana Mr. Basketball and also a good penetrating guard. There's a good shot of their Mr. Outside, Jim Master. He's a magnificent outside shooter, the 6'5" senior, gold medal winner in the Pan American Games. You saw him there feeding Melvin Turpin, but that's what he does best, the 20-foot bomb. He can really play string music, Jim Master. You'll see him here hitting a shot in the Mideast Regional Final against Louisville that put the game into overtime. Kenny Walker, the 6'8" sophomore out of Georgia. This guy can really fly and stuff it. Great on the boards. He'll be the other starting forward with Melvin Turpin. You saw him taking it to the board there. It was a great pass, and he had a chance, of course, at a three-point play. The other forward will be 6'11" senior Melvin Turpin. He was an All-Southeastern Conference performer last year, and he led this team throughout the year. As I mentioned, came within one game of the Final Four. Excellent shooter, 15 for 50 in a preseason scrimmage. Here's the key, though, Sam Bowie, 7'1" senior, has not played actually a game of any meaning in 2 years. You saw his leg all taped up. A standing room only crowd in Memorial Coliseum came out to see him and welcome him back. The first practice at 12:01 on October 15th for the Kentucky Wildcats. There he's rejecting, but we're going to hear Melvin Turpin talk about teammate Sam Bowie.
It sounds like a big brother. He tells me stuff to do. And I listen to Sam. Sam's is a great athlete, and he's an All-American. So he's been to the game longer than I have, and I'm sure that he knows more than I do. He's so happy to get back into the lineup that he can't wait. He's always got a ball in his hand no matter what he's doing, and I'm sure he's going to go out there and give his 110% just as well as I am.
Well, the only man that can really answer the question about 100% is Coach Joe B. Hall. Joe, Melvin Turpin has talked about Sam Bowie being able to give 110%. Here's a man that hadn't played a game in 2 years. Where is Sam Bowie really at this point?
Well, Sam's not 100%, Joe, and anyone who has seen him work knows that. Anyone who has seen an athlete lay out for 2 years knows that. Sam's activity was practically nil during the 2 years that he was up with his fractured tibia. And the cardiovascular inefficiency that he suffers, the atrophy, the mental part of getting back into the game of basketball are the problems that he's having right now. But his progress indicates that he is going to make it, and he's going to be back full speed, and we're just waiting for that time.
I see timing is really his big problem.
I think so. I think just the flow of the game, the tempo of the game, the being able to react.
I know he's anxious to play, and we're anxious to see him. Thanks.
Oh, we sure are.
Thank you, Joe.
Thank you.
And as you look at the fans at the Two Keys here in Lexington, Kentucky, getting geared up for this one, we'll be back with more in a moment. There have been a multitude of questions surrounding the issue of why these two schools have not met in such a long time during the regular season, and perhaps Skip Carey and Governor John Y. Brown can provide some answers. Skip?
Mr. Governor, you're no stranger to the game of basketball. Your involvement with the team in Louisville and then with the Boston Celtics. And I know you were instrumental in finally getting this rivalry back on track after 61 years. How did you do it?
Well, it wasn't easy. We had two university presidents that were both had the ability to get along personally, and both boards felt like this was the time to get this conflict behind us and get on with the game of basketball, because after all, it's played for our alumnus and it's played for the citizens of Kentucky.
Do you worry at all? I mean, people take it so seriously. The players look forward to it and have fun. I sometimes wonder if the alumni don't take it too seriously. Does it concern you?
Well, I think that's one reason they have such great programs. We all know what the University of Kentucky has. They fill this arena every game, 23,000 fans. U of L has the NCAA record for 39 consecutive winning seasons. That's why they're good, because they do take their basketball seriously.
Back in Knoxville 8 months ago, you wore a jacket that was half red, half blue. You don't have that on. Do you have a favorite in this game, sir?
Well, this is my hometown. I went to the University of Kentucky, so I thought as I go out of office, it was time for me to be partisan.
So you're for Kentucky tonight?
I'm going to have to be, yes.
It's not usual to ask someone in an interview about their wife, but Phyllis George, your wife, the popular lady with CBS, how's she doing?
She's doing fine. She's going to have a baby here within the next week, and we're both excited about it.
Mr. Governor, thank you very much for stopping by. It should be a good ball game. Give us a prediction on the score, if you will.
Well, I hope it's close like it was last year. I'd like to have another tie with perhaps UK winning in overtime again.
Okay, thank you again, sir, very much. That's the governor of the great state of Kentucky, John Y. Brown. Now let's go to the Red Barn in Louisville and Paul Ryden.
Thank you, Skip. Thank you, Skip. You know, Cardinal fans may be vastly outnumbered at Rupp Arena in Lexington, where you are right now, but here it's a different story. We're at the Red Barn on the campus of the University of Louisville, where it is all Cardinal red. And if there are any Kentucky fans here, and I think I spotted one earlier, they're keeping a very low profile. We're 75 miles from Lexington right now, and I'm sure that a lot of people here would really rather be seeing the game in person instead of watching it on TV. They're unable to do that, however, because of the small number of tickets that were allotted to U of L students this year. But before you feel too sorry for these people, let me set the scene for you here. We got about 300 people here, all cheering for the same team at the same time, and they're watching the game on 7 different TV monitors. So that gives them the benefit of getting the instant replays and all the great camera angles that they couldn't possibly get if they were at Rupp Arena right now. So they also, I might add, get the expert commentary of Skip Terry and Joe Dean. So that's really quite an arrangement here at the Red Barn, where they're going to all be watching it. And on top of all that, they also get the pregame show, which they're watching right now. Now that we've all hyped it up and told you how great it is to be at the Red Barn, let's move over here and meet some of the people who are going to be spending the evening here and find out what they have to say about it. Hi, what's your name?
I'm Harold Rittler.
Well, you're obviously a Louisville fan.
That's right.
Now, tell me the truth. Wouldn't you rather be here with all these Cardinal fans and over in Rupp Arena with all those
That's right, with the Cardinal fans. We're going to win by 12 points. Again, we did it once, we're going to do it again.
Win by 12 points. Okay, well, that's what one person says. But, you know, a lot of the experts are saying that Kentucky will be the #1 or #2 team in the country. And to open up against a team like that is going to be tough for the Cardinals. Let's hear what the experts have to say about that over here. What do you think? Do you really think the Cardinals have a chance against the Wildcats tonight?
I think U of L is going to go all the way. It's going to be no problem for U of L.
No problem tonight?
They're going to really bring out the Cardinal spirit tonight with the fans.
Okay, the Cardinal spirit is going to be living alive here in Red Barn. But, of course, there are no guarantees as to what happens in the game in Lexington, of course. But win or lose, the Cardinal fans here at the Red Barn are in this thing together, and that's what makes it so fun to be here at the Red Barn. Now, let's go on back to Lexington and Kevin Christopher.
All right, Paul, obviously things in the Red Barn are a little bit crazy tonight, as well they should be. Here the fans are still, the final fans anyway, filling up the arena here this evening. And this is going to be a classic confrontation. There's just no two ways about it. The town, the whole city, the whole country has been talking about this basketball game for the past couple of months. We've waited 61 years for this basketball game. Tonight it's going to happen right here. Can Kentucky bring the ball up court against that famed Louisville zone press and set up their offense? If they can, if they are successful in doing that, can Denny Crum's front line contain that great baseline attack, the Twin Towers, Turpin and Bowie? Or will it be Lancaster Gordon and Milt Wagner controlling the play again as they did in overtime of the Mideast Regional last year? We'll soon see. In the meantime, we're getting set for something that's traditional before every Louisville game and every Kentucky game, and that is the playing of my old Kentucky home. So let's go inside to the arena for that right now. And as this rendition of My Old Kentucky Home covers the entire nation this evening, we'll be back for the start of this great basketball game right after this.
This telecast has been brought to you by America's #1 imported beer, Heineken. Just say, come to think of it, I'll have a Heineken. And by Sentry. For all your home, auto, life, and business needs, count on your local Sentry agent, where all's well, even when all isn't. Now, stay tuned for the Louisville, Kentucky game on Turner Network Television.
Presentation of colors by the University.
Tonight's game is brought to you by Budweiser, the king of beers, and the proud sponsor of the U.S. Olympic team. For all you do, this Bud's for you. And by General Electric. We can help make your kitchen everything you want it to be. At GE, we bring good things to life. And by Vicks, the makers of Sinex, the nasal spray that combines instantly penetrating Vicks vapors with a powerful decongestant, so you get complete relief for hours and hours.
This place is up for grabs. Hello again, everybody. I'm Skip Terry, along with Joe Dean, and we welcome you to a battle for the bragging rights in the state of Kentucky. Two of the top 10 teams in the nation kick off their season against one another. As you've heard already, the first time in 61 years, Louisville and Kentucky have played a regular season game. And Joe, it's great to be working with you after all these years of knowing you, and it's going to be a dandy ball game tonight.
Everything centers around the full court pressure of the Louisville Cardinals. It's devastating. It defeated Kentucky in the Mid-East Regional in Knoxville last year. It's quick, it's awesome, and you're going to see it tonight by Denny Crum. It's led by a great backcourt pair, as good as there is in all of America. Lancaster Gordon and Milt Wagner. They're quick. They scored 42 points against Kentucky in that Mid-East Regional game. On the other hand, Kentucky says, if we can beat it, and we think we can, we'll go half-court offense, and we'll go to our strength. 2 7-footers, Melvin Turpin and Sam Bowie, and that can give Louisville all kind of problems.
And that's something for the fans to look for, but the half-court game, Kentucky will almost certainly win it. If it turns into a track meet, then the pendulum swings a little bit toward Louisville.
And it puts a lot of pressure on Billy Thompson and Manuel Forrest and Charlie Jones up front to handle the 2 7-footers once Kentucky gets set up.
And foul trouble could really hurt Louisville because they are so much smaller.
Kentucky has more depth than Louisville. Louisville has 2 freshmen that they may play later.
24,000 people have gathered here. 92 of them are rooting for Louisville. You have to feel sorry for their cheerleaders. It'll be the same way next year when they meet in Freedom Hall, but that's a big edge for Kentucky, too.
No question about it. Everything is blue and white in this arena. I don't see any red. Like you said, they only got 92 tickets.
Well, we've been talking about it now for about 40 minutes. It's time to get it on, and we'll be back with the starting lineups, the play-by-play story right after this.
year ago, Kentucky was 23-8, Louisville 32-4, and about to have at it again. Here's our public address announcer, Jim Ingle, with the lineup.
Ladies and gentlemen, introducing the starting lineup for tonight's game. First, the Cardinals of Louisville. Number 55 at forward, 6'8" from Camden, New Jersey, Billy Thompson.
This is the first start of Thompson's
And at
career.
forward, number 30 at 6'7" from Louisville, Kentucky, Manuel Forrest. Number 33 at center, 6'8" from Scuba, Mississippi, Charles Jones. Number 4 at guard, 6'3" from Jackson, Mississippi, Lancaster Gordon. And number 20 at guard, 6'5" from Camden, New Jersey, Milt Wagner.
One thing about it, Milt was ready to go in this game.
He got out real quick.
And the coach of the Cardinals, Denny Crum.
From 295 and 78 lifetime, a 791 winning
The
percentage.
Wildcats of Kentucky. Number 34 at forward, 6'8" from Roberta, Georgia, Kenny Walker. Number 31 at forward, 7'1" from Lebanon, Pennsylvania, Sam Bowie. Number 54 at center, 6'11" from Lexington, Kentucky, Melvin Turpin. Number 23 at guard, 6'1" from Valparaiso, Indiana, Roger Harden. And number 20 at guard, 6'5" from Fort Wayne, Indiana, Jim Masters. And the coach of the Wildcats, Joe B. Hall.
All 250 and 82 at Kentucky, 326, 138 overall. Your officials for the game this evening: Bob Showalter, Rich Weiler, and Phil Robinson, and you see them there. Well, Joe, any last-minute thoughts before we get it underway? Who do you like?
Well, Skip, it all comes down, as we said when we came on the air, can Kentucky beat the press? Louisville wants a full-court game. They want to play 94 feet. Yesterday at their practice, Denny Crum said, I must make it a full-court game. I can't let them get set up and just cross that 10-second line and go to that big power, those 7-footers inside. He's concerned this early in the season that particularly Billy Thompson and Manuel Forrest can defend underneath.
Well, we're ready to go, and we sincerely hope that you'll enjoy it with us on Turner Network Television. The players are going to have fun here tonight. The fans are, too, and we hope you will watching at home or wherever you are. Charlie Jones will jump against Sam Bowie. He has shown a lot of character and courage battling back after a 2-year absence. Joe Hall says he's not ready to play 100% yet. Here we go. Louisville and Billy Thompson with it.
Kentucky's opened up man-to-man, a little bit of a surprise. That's Turpin on Jones.
Ball still belongs to Louisville.
I thought they'd open up in a zone defense. They think maybe they can play with them a little bit early. Master on Lancaster Garden.
And Wagner against Harden, and a foul. The first of the game will be on Harden.
Kenny Walker's matched up against Manuel Forrest, Bowie and Billy Thompson, Turpin and Charles Jones, who we mentioned, Master and Wagner, Harden and Garden. Those are the matchups.
Wagner, they backdoor to Thompson. Good play to keep control. Jones, Bowie got that. Kentucky has a chance to draw first blood.
That's where he makes the difference. The intimidation defensively inside. 7-1 Sam Bowie.
Kenny Walker with the ball on the wing. This is Roger Harden. Turpin. Oh, what a block by Thompson, but he had the foul to do it. He argues about it, but a foul is called.
Excellent feed inside. Roger Harden lobs it to Turpin. He's going to try to stop it. Thompson from the weak side. What a block. Beautiful. He got him with the body, Skip.
Must have, because the block was clean as could be. Turpin to the line to shoot two.
As a team last year, Kentucky was 71.7% for the foul line. Pretty good shooting. Louisville, on the other hand, 68.6 on the season.
Not this time. And Louisville with a chance to take the lead. Wagner in control. And Gordon. They'll handle the ball an awful lot. Gordon. That won't go. Good job inside. Thompson. That blocked by Turpin. Wagner from 12. Boy, they're pounding the board. And finally got the hoop. Manuel Forrest.
That Louisville front line can really jump. They really took it to the glass. The 2-2-1 full court pressure we talked about.
First time we've had a chance to see it. Kentucky handled it with great ease that time.
They didn't try to deny the pass in to get their offense started against Kentucky. Made it kind of easy for Harden to bring it up.
Bowie up high and Master. We'll get to the right side, post up Walker, and yet another foul on Thompson and second.
That could be a factor. They need his defense inside. They brought him along slow. He didn't play all that much last year. They say he doesn't work quite as hard in practice as they would like, but what potential he has. You could see him pushing from the rear. He got him with his body.
They call it close early, as well they should, because emotions run high here.
Mike mentioned that the officials are all out of the Big Ten.
Harden up top.
Looks like they're going to give Harden a shot if he wants it.
Harden threw it away, intended for Master on the wing, so Louisville can add to their 2-1 lead. We have 18:20 left in the first half. Joe Hall concerned with the way things have started for his club. Jones finds Wagner. Wagner over Harden. That won't go, but the tip was up there.
Jones, he jumped so quick, as they say. 4-1 Cardinals. Nobody blocked him off.
And they've gotten both their baskets off the offensive board where you don't figure they would do any damage, but their quickness has paid off.
They're good leapers. They can really get up. Thompson, Manuel Forrest, Jones, excellent jumpers. Louisville's man-to-man defensively. It's not a real pressure man-to-man. They'll give you the outside shot.
Master had it blocked by Wagner, and here they come again. Gordon in control. Right down the middle, threw it away, intended for Wagner. Had a little too much on the ball, and Wagner could not control it. So the turnover returns possession to the Wildcats.
Transition there, Lancaster Garden. They blocked the shot on Master. They're sagging off of Roger Harden. They'll give him the outside shot. They are putting pressure on Jim Master, and you saw them block the shot. Coach Joe Hall was a little disgusted. I don't know why. It's Kentucky's ball out of bounds.
And Master will trigger it in. Sort of a passive pressing defense, if that makes any sense.
That's exactly what it is. They do that early, then all of a sudden they really come and get you with everything at you. Just come and get you.
Oh, he took it strong there.
Kenny Walker.
First field goal of the game for the Wildcats. We played nearly 3 minutes till it happened, and Louisville leads it 4-3. Joe Dean, Skip Carey with you from Rupp Arena, and it is packed. Lancaster Gordon. Oh, another offensive rebound, but Jones lost it. And here come the Wildcats with a chance to take the lead. Walker on the wing, passed up the jumper.
Harden may have to put up the outside shot because they're sagging back to put pressure on Turpin and Bowie inside.
Master, good fake, goes to the baseline, gets it away. That won't go, and the rebound is a foul on Harden, his second.
If he gets in foul trouble, they'll have to come in with Dickie Beal, who we mentioned in the scouting report early. Has some knee problems, operated on the off-season. Not real good lateral movement.
Though they were cheered by the way he practiced yesterday.
Kentucky still man-to-man. Louisville had to be surprised. I think they thought they'd see a 2-3 zone.
Knocked away by Bowie. Boy, those big guys make a difference, but Jones gets it back, and they set up all over again. They got 16 minutes left. It's low scoring early, as you might expect. Gordon tries to change that and does.
He's a marvelous outside shooter. You give him daylight, he'll fill it up. As we mentioned, he had 24 against Kentucky in that Mid-East regional game in Knoxville last year.
Tell you what about these two teams. Just let me be the agent to all those kids when they turn pro, and we'll never have to hit a lick again. Harden up top.
In trouble getting it inside right now. There it is, though. Bad pass.
Forced it inside, and as a result, we'll have, I guess, a jump ball, but let's wait and see. That will be the
jump ball. Alternating jump ball situations. It'll be Kentucky's ball. Here's the replay. Bad pass inside. Billy Thompson, Turpin on the floor for it. We'll jump it up. Kentucky's ball when we come back, Skip.
Timeout on the floor. 15:28 remaining in the first half, and with timeout, your score: Louisville 6, Kentucky 3. So far, the smaller Louisville team has out-rebounded Kentucky 8-2. The Cardinals 3 of 10 from the field. Kentucky just 1 of 3, and the Wildcats will inbound as play resumes. 6-3 our score. Louisville leads it. 15:28 remaining in the first half, and Master will trigger it in.
Louisville lost Rodney and Scooter McRae from last year's team that went to the Final Four, and naturally Denny Crum was very concerned about replacing these two great athletes.
Harden dribbles the perimeter. Master handles the ball.
They zoned the throw in, and they've stayed in a 2-3 zone. Now they're matching up, going man-to-man.
Walker and Harden and Bowie as they now force it into Walker. He got high in the air and put it home.
And a good pass by Sam Bowie to make it happen.
6-5 our score, and Milt Wagner on the attack for the Cardinal.
Skip, I think Kentucky's played man-to-man because they're so concerned about the excellent outside shooting of Garden and Lancaster, Garden, and Milt Wagner.
Emmanuel Forrest was a guy Denny Crum worried about because of all the pressure of this game, has risen to the occasion. He's played extremely well. Walker gambled on the steal, didn't get it. And it's 8-5 Louisville, and the team's loosening up now a little bit. And they'll play better, I would guess, as they get into the flow of the game. 14:30 remaining.
Foster missed 28 games last year with a knee injury.
Back door all alone. Turpin. Great pass as well.
Beautiful pass from Harden. Nobody picked him up. Melvin Turpin played a little stufferino in Lexington, KY.
That's the stufferino and not string music, huh? Okay. 8-7 Louisville. 14:15 remaining. Thompson hung in the air. He's a good-looking young player.
He sure is. They said he had unbelievable potential. Just a basic backdoor cut. Good pass by the guard. Good shot. Billy Thompson.
Again, they drop back and don't apply the pressure real hard, and Harden crosses the line. 10-7 our score. Louisville on top. 13:48 remaining in the first half.
Of course, that all-out suicide press when you deny the pass in can take a lot out of a team, so he didn't want to use it till he has to.
Harden works a little one-on-one on Gordon. Inside the big fella Turpin, and a foul will be called. It will be, I think, on Forrest.
Good pass inside again. They got the lob pass. Harden right there. They tried to front him, as you can see. Here comes the weak side help. Number 30, Emmanuel Forrest, trying to help out, but fouled, and Melvin Turpin will shoot 2.
And he's 1 of 2 from the foul line on the night, has 3 points. Story in the newspaper here yesterday that choice seats were being scalped for $2,500 a pair. Boy, boy. They love the basketball down here. Turpin has 5.
I don't see an empty seat anywhere. They sold standing room. Turpin with a steal.
He's making the plays at both ends. Harden leads the Kentucky attack. Bowie up top. Lets a rip and shoots it short.
Bad shot.
Gordon leads, a bit of a Cardinal break, gets to the foul line, fades away, and fires.
Bad shot at that end.
He gets a break, it kicks right back to him. Forrest up top against Walker. And Walker had the steal. Forrest got it back and put it down. down to Louisville. He has 6 to lead all scorers in the game. Turpin leads Kentucky with 5. 12:50 remaining. Harden with play instructions as he dribbles up top. 12-9 Louisville our score. Turpin at the high post. Finds Master. The jump shot's away. Bingo. Just like to draw it up. Master's first points of the game. Inside Jones. No. Look at them battle. Those Cardinals on the boards, but it's rejected. I think Turpin got it, or Bowie.
Bowie.
Wagner. That won't go. And a foul as well. Charge on Wagner.
He ran over Master underneath. They're going to have to get Bowie a little lower, though. They're bringing him high. He's an excellent passer from up there. You'll see the replay right there. Number 20, Milt Wagner, ran over Jim Master underneath. Kentucky has a chance to take the lead for the first time in the game. 12-11. Louisville leads 12-11, and there's 12-11 on the scoreboard.
Kentucky will inbound as play resumes.
Replaces Thompson for Louisville.
Master to the front court, gets near the foul line, dishes it off. Bowie with it. Master again from about 18.
That's where he killed him last year in the Mid-East Regional. They tried to put pressure on him, but their full court pressure was broken down very early, and he was open in the wing. And of course, he played a little string music.
There we go. Gordon with it up top. And into the lane and a whistle.
Master got him on the way by. Good drive by Lancaster Garden. Master matched up with him one-on-one, couldn't handle him. All he did here was fake left and come back to the right. Little crossover step with the dribble. Excellent execution. Lancaster Garden, a 6'3" guard out of Jackson, Mississippi, and one of the nation's best.
And young Winston Bennett, a freshman out of Louisville, checks into the game for Kentucky. Bowie goes out for a rest. Really surprised to see him in there the way he was limping yesterday at practice. He twisted an ankle in practice a couple of days ago. Now Joe Hall and the officials talking over at midcourt. Joe's got a smile on his face, or at least I think he does.
Bowie's timing, though, is definitely off just a little bit. Don't you agree, Skip?
Yeah, I think so, and he's prone to fatigue, and it's just like any other sport. They talk about it in baseball all the time. You can take batting practice for 6 months. It's not like game condition. And now a technical foul.
Number 32, McSwain, who was listed as number 32.
A technical foul against Louisville. I was going crazy here. Mark McSwain, wearing number 32, checked into the game for Louisville, but Louisville has no number 32 on their published roster. He's supposed to be wearing 52, so a technical foul is the result. McSwain, a highly touted freshman from Atlanta.
I saw you going to the book trying to figure out who it was. I thought it was McSwain, but I agree. I knew it was 52. The player had on 32, and we weren't sure who it was for a second. Master, a magnificent foul shooter, one of the best in the country.
And he sinks it, and he has 5. The number 52 is Mark McSwain.
One of the heralded freshmen on the Louisville Cardinal team.
Timeout on the floor, 11:36 remaining. Kentucky leads it 14-12 over Louisville, and this is Turner Network Television.
Defeated number 3 Stanford tonight.
Kentucky 14, Louisville 12, 11:36 remaining in the first half. And it's been a good one. Both teams started slowly, but they're getting into the pace of their game now. Kentucky is shooting it well, 5 out of 8, 63%. Louisville not shooting it well at all, 6 of 17, 35%. Louisville has 3 turnovers to Kentucky's 1. A big surprise in the game, at least to me. A big edge in rebounds. Louisville 12, Kentucky 3, but it's early. 11:36 remaining. This young Louisville team, you really have to admire their composure coming into this madhouse.
Mark McSwain, we might mention, is a 6'7" freshman, Atlanta, Georgia, strong, excellent inside player. A little weak defensively, but he'll get better. Just a freshman. Scored almost 20 points a game and 12 boards in high school as a senior. He's a shot blocker.
Roger Harden on the dribble for Kentucky. They can grab their biggest lead of the evening. Master comes off the pick and shoots it short.
He's
Shot it short because he had a good defensive hand in his face. Made him raise the arc of his shot just enough to make him miss. Kentucky still man-to-man defensively.
Manuel Forrest. Now Milt Wagner handles it. Lancaster Gordon goes to the hole, puts it up, will go, rebound, knocked loose, recovered by Master. So it's still 14-12 Kentucky as we near the 10-minute mark, 10:50 remaining in the half. A whistle and a bumping foul is going to be called against Kentucky.
Winston Bennett pushed back just as the ball was coming in against number 30, Manuel Forrest. He fouled. It'll be Cardinal ball.
Bennett, his first, team fourth.
Louisville brings Jeff Hall into the game, a 6'4" sophomore out of Ashland, wearing number 42.
Winston Bennett's matched up against Mark McSwain, two freshmen.
Inside, they post Wagner against Harden, but can't get him the ball, so he comes out on top. Now he goes baseline, forces his way in, and commits an offensive foul.
Excellent defensive position by Roger Harden. He took the baseline away from him, and number 20, Milt Wagner, you'll see him right here. He tries to take it anyway. Close call, Skip.
Wagner wasn't too thrilled with it. That's his second foul. So Thompson and Wagner have 2 each for Louisville, and Harden has 2 for Kentucky.
It was the first time that Louisville tried to deny the pass in. Jeff Hall is in for Louisville.
Master operates up top. Thought about it, couldn't let it go. Billy Thompson about to return to the Louisville lineup. Kentucky very patient. Master gets the open jump.
Didn't get to him quick enough defensively. Louisville's defense is a little passive, but they will put good pressure on the point of the ball. But they did not get to Jim Master quick enough that trip.
Kentucky by 4 with 9:35 remaining in the half. Hall, a good jump shooter, but he missed this one. Harden the rebound. Now Kentucky can build a 6-point advantage. Turpin. That won't go. Walker saves the rebound on the baseline, makes a great pass. The shot won't go, and a foul is called. Winston Bennett spun into the lane, the freshman from Louisville.
He's a young man they think is going to be a great one. Kentucky's had trouble getting players out of the Louisville area. A lot of recruiting went on Winston Bennett. As you mentioned, Skip, sprained ankle. We didn't know if he'd play or not, but he's very physical, very strong, and an excellent inside player.
Bennett at the line for 2 free throws.
He's at the line shooting 2. It's miraculous, his recovery in about a day and a half.
And the youngster sinks his first free throw. 17-12 Kentucky. Their biggest lead of the evening. 9:15 remaining first half.
You'll see that full court press really pick up steam here if this lead continues to increase.
The youngster made them both. 18-12 our score. Kentucky goes to a little pressure defense. Billy Thompson. Jeff Hall. Wagner with it up top. Almost had it swiped.
That's James Blackman, freshman out of Marion, Indiana.
Boy, that was a dandy shot.
Beautiful. Mark McSwain. He just jumped up above him and stuck it in. Big basket. Cut it back to 4.
Blackman and Master on the back line now. Walker at the head of the circle.
That full court pressure is zone pressure. It's 2-2-1. But once Kentucky crosses the 10-second line, they jump you man-to-man. They pick up their individual assignments.
Boy, now Walker can hang in the air. Good save. And a traveling violation against Billy Thompson.
Tried to run too quick, and they had the numbers. Good transition.
Blackman heads up the floor. Bennett with the ball on the wing. Astor thought about it, but threw it away. Length of the court pass. Blackman can't handle it. Hall does, and his short jump won't go. And Louisville has really cooled off. Traveling was called against Kentucky, and the Cardinals got it back.
Winston Bennett really got up, got the rebound. I'm sure his ankle bothered him enough because he came down funny. He really did walk. It was a good call. Joe Hall didn't like it, but we come back. It'll be the Cardinal ball.
Here's another look at it.
Long pass, kicked around. Jeff Hall misses the
and with
shot.
timeout on the floor, 7:45 remaining in the half to score. Kentucky 18, Louisville 14. Joe, it's obvious that Louisville can't buy a basket in the early going.
7 of 21, just 33% from the field so far. Kentucky 6 of 12, just a little bit over 50%. But what a job the Cardinals have done on the boards. They've out-rebounded Kentucky 14-7. And that's a surprise when you realize that Melvin Turpin and Sam Bowie played together about the first 10 minutes. Bowie went to the bench, and of course they brought in Winston Bennett.
So Louisville has 9 more shots, but only 1 more basket.
Turnovers, Kentucky 4, Louisville 5.
And play and hostilities resume here. The Cardinals trigger it in on the end line. McSwain handles it. Now Jeff Hall.
Kentucky zoned the inbounds pass, so they've stayed in that zone. Most all teams do that now. That prevents that cheap basket underneath.
18-14 Kentucky, 7:25 left, first half. Milt Wagner, the quarterback for Louisville.
Directing traffic. He's saying they're in a zone. Let's run a zone offense against it. And a 1-3-1 type attack.
What a play by Walker, but Thompson gets it back. Wagner bangs it up there. It won't go, and the rebound kicks out to Master.
There's some people playing above that basket, I'll tell you that. They're really getting up.
James Blackman. They go to Turpin again, and he draws the foul as he misses. Let's see who got it.
Just a beautiful feed because they passed away from the defensive player. Went to the weak side to him where he could come right back to the middle with the shot. Was fouled as he put it up. Look at this pass. Beautiful by James Blackman. See Jones on the far side. He swings back to the middle, but they got him on the arm. Who'd they call it on? 32 or 33, Skip? Did you pick it up?
I couldn't pick it up either. But our director, Mark Goldsmith, did. It is McSwain, his second. And Turpin for 2.
That's what you call touch.
Number 4, Lancaster Gordon.
Lancaster Gordon gives Milt Wagner a blow. Sam Bowie about to check back in, but he wants to replace Turpin, so he can't get in there now. Turpin looks for his 7th point of the night. 19-14 our score.
The Louisville guards, Lancaster Gordon and Milt Wagner, are just 1 of 9 from the field so far, and that was a basket by Lancaster Gordon from the baseline early.
Now Turpin can get out of the game, and Bowie can get in.
This will put Bowie in a low post, so give him a chance to operate down low there to see what he can do, because he had been operating high with Turpin in the game when they were together.
Hall brings it up against Blackman. 2014, 6.5 minutes till the break.
Kentucky back man-to-man defensively.
Blackman with the steal. Great anticipation. The trailer is Walker. Yes.
Beautiful steal by James Blackman and a magnificent pass. And then he fouled.
None of this counts. A whistle has been blown out near midcourt, but in the pandemonium here, no one could hear it.
Blackman made the great steal, the pass to Kenny Walker for the basket, but as Louisville came back down the court, he pushed off. Here's that steal. Excellent anticipation. Stepped in the passing lane. And what a pass right here to Kenny Walker. Beautiful.
And Louisville will inbound from the side of the floor.
15 foul against Kentucky. Louisville has committed 7 now.
Emmanuel Forrest back in the game. Forrest checked by Bennett on the wing, dribbles out on top, loses his man, and shoots his jumper. Shot an air ball. Jones can't buy it, but Thompson does. And again, they storm that offensive board.
Louisville, that's what's kept them in the game. They have really worked the glass, and they've worked it hard.
Hall almost swiped it, but Kentucky crosses the line, and Bowie holds it high. Master again, not this time, and Gordon the rebound. Hall has the field beat. They don't see him in time. Gordon from 13 rims it. They can't buy a basket, those outstanding guards. And Kentucky again can take an 8-point advantage. We have 5:18 left.
It's a tough break, too, because Master put up sort of a questionable shot, had good transition. Lancaster Gordon had it just where he wanted it. He's a great shooter, but it just wouldn't go down.
Bennett in the lane has it blocked away from behind, but Walker comes out of there with it. Down low to Sam. And Walker, great pass, and it goes in. Bowie, the great pass, Walker the basket.
Beautiful pass by Bowie. You'll see it right there. Beautiful pass. It made it happen. No question about the call. Jones way up there to kick it away.
Charles Jones leaves the game, and freshman Barry Sumter checks in for Louisville. He's their biggest man, 6'11", from Lovejoy, Illinois.
They really expect big, big things out of him in the future. One of the biggest players ever at Louisville, 6'11", and what stats he had in high school. 24 points a game, almost 15 rebounds. Needs work, but he's going to be a good one in the future for Denny Crum.
And that brings Mel Turpin back into the game. Walker goes out for Kentucky. 24-16 our score. Billy Thompson can't buy it. And Turpin got back just in time to claim the rebound. Lockman to the front court. Bowie. Lockman on the baseline. Finds Bowie, who finds Turpin, and he can't get the hoop to drop, and Manuel Forrest the rebound. Hall at the other end over Master. Boy, they are ice cold. Bowie the rebound.
Can't buy one from outside, and Hall's an excellent shooter.
Bowie head of the circle, low for Turpin. Beautiful pass.
What a pass. And Melvin Turpin's timing was absolutely perfect. With 4 minutes to go in the half, Kentucky has its biggest lead, 26-16.
Bowie with a steal.
Bad pass.
And the composure of the Louisville team is really being tested right now. 3:45 left. Bowie, Turpin again. Through the foul as he missed. That's it. It was Forrest who got it.
It's the very thing that Denny Crum was scared to death of. Turpin getting the ball low on a pass from Bowie, and they've just had a nightmare trying to contain him. Another pass right there to Bowie to Turpin underneath. He's going to go up and stuff it. They just grabbed his arms and held him. He'll go to the line and shoot 2.
Mr. Turpin has himself 9 points. He's the leading scorer in the game, and from the foul line, he is 5 out of 6.
And in your interview with Denny Crum, he said, we better have more quickness because they've got size. And so far, that size has been the difference for Kentucky on the offensive end.
Turpin has 10, and it's an 11-point advantage.
Good shot there of Denny Crum and his staff. Bob Dotson, Wade Houston, Jerry Jones.
The way it's going, it's driving Denny to drink. Turpin 1 out of 2. And it's 27-16, 3:36 left in the half. Joe Dean, Skip Carey with you from Rupp Arena. Gordon closely guarded by Master. Gordon pumps another one up there. He is ice cold. Winston Bennett the rebound.
And that's his shot. Lancaster Gordon has to put that shot up, but most of all, he must make it to put the Cardinals in this game.
Bennett drives by Forrest, hangs in the air, shot it too long. There's the big fella asserting himself, but he missed. Turpin battles for it again and wins the game. Lockman on the baseline. Well, good move, but he missed. Kentucky now asserting themselves, and finally out of there, Lancaster Gordon with the ball. They had about 8 slaps at it. Did the Wildcats.
Best offensive board work by Kentucky in the game.
That pass was deflected, so Louisville will maintain control. But timeout is called here with 2:44 remaining. Timeout on the floor. Your score, Kentucky 27, Louisville 16, and this is Turner Network Television. .244 till halftime, Kentucky by 11, and Joe, for the last several minutes, Louisville simply can't throw it in the ocean.
And I think we must give a little bit of credit to the Kentucky defense, because I think Louisville expected them to zone. I did too. And you can see the shooting stats. Louisville just 27.6. And of course, Kentucky's not just wearing it out. They're almost 41. You see the turnovers. Louisville 6, Kentucky 4. I think Denny Crum expected the zone, as I mentioned. But Kentucky's come out of there firing. They played good man-to-man defense. One of the reasons it's been effective because you got the big guys in the back who can reject. And we've had 3 or 4 rejections by Bowie already in this game.
Cardinals will inbound with 2:44 remaining in their offensive zone. Lancaster Gordon with it up front. Between them, Gordon and Wagner have but 2 points in the game. And away from the ball, a foul against Louisville and Billy Thompson.
It's one of the things I've been watching. They've been trying to go to Billy Thompson because they don't think 7-1 Sam Bowie can guard him and handle him one-on-one. But so far, it has not been that effective.
And it won't be any more in this half. That's his 3rd foul, so he is checked out of the game, and Charles Jones comes back in.
Louisville still not going to the suicide press as they did in the Mid-East Regional in the second half. We may see it later. We're going to shoot 1-1.
In the last 10.5 minutes, Louisville has managed just 4 points. Yet, they're down by 11, which is not an insurmountable situation.
To shoot as poorly as they have in this first half and still just be down 11 is a credit to their overall play, mainly the rebounding. It's kept them in the game.
Though Kentucky is closing in that department, it's now Louisville 20, Kentucky 16. Bowie registering his first point of the game. And it's a 12-point lead, the biggest of the night for the Wildcats. People argue already about who should be number 1, Kentucky or North Carolina. 29-16 with 2:30 remaining in the half. Deflected away by James Blackman with those quick hands, and here come the Wildcats again. 3-on-1. Blackman does it.
The quickness of the freshman, James Blackman. He got the steal. Mastered. Look, another steal by Blackman.
And another basket. And suddenly, the Wildcats threaten to blow it wide open.
And Kentucky's done it with pressure.
Oh, that kid is quick, that Blackman. 33-16. A 17-point ball game. Blackman all over Hall. Manuel for it. He's cooled off. Here they come again. It's 2-on-2. Blackman finds Master, who waits and fires and won't go. Knock loose. Master gets it back. Turpin kept it alive. And Kentucky now sets up with 1:28 remaining. Alone, Bowie got it out of front.
Another magnificent pass by Sam Bowie. He's the senior who really seems to be taking charge.
Bowie the pass, Walker the basket, and the foul is on the youngster Barry Sumter.
Look at the bullet pass across the court. Kenny Walker tries to stuff it, but number 40, Barry Sumter, came across. The basket still went in, and he's going to shoot now and a chance at a 3-point play.
And all of a sudden, it's a 19-point Kentucky lead.
1:15 to go in the half.
And a whistle.
Blackman pushing off.
For Kentucky, number 24.
Picks up his first foul. Turpin out of the game again.
Brett Barrett in for Melvin Turpin for Kentucky.
And And Louisville making wholesale changes in an effort to get things shaken up here. Wagner with it up top. They threw up a prayer. It wasn't answered, but youngster McSwain tipped it in.
Nobody blocked him off on the weak side. He drifted through, and it's the only thing that's kept Louisville in. Offensive rebounding.
If they're in, it's 35-18. And we're in the final minute of the half.
You're right. If they're in, we're going to see a lot of pressure by Louisville the second half. We're down to 35 seconds in the half. Kentucky's probably going to hold it for one unless they can shoot a triple and they throw the ball away. A freshman mistake.
Well, the Cardinals can't wait around.
Big basket.
Wagner gets his first basket of the night, and that might get Louisville going a little bit. They have Danny Mitchell who's checked into the game.
19 lead down to 15. A little momentum here for Louisville, just enough to have a chance. They need to go in at halftime.
You see the time remaining.
6-5.
That's good if it goes. And the half is over. It's been all Kentucky to this point. Louisville ice cold in the last 13 minutes of the first half, registered only 8 points. We're at halftime now, and when we come back, we'll have interviews. Kevin Christopher with both athletic directors. But right now, we're at halftime, and your score, Kentucky 35, Louisville 20.
To me,
35-20 is your halftime score. It's been all Kentucky to this point, and standing by courtside with the athletic directors from the respective schools is our colleague Kevin Christopher. Kevin?
All right, Skip, thank you very much. The gentleman on my left, the athletic director of the University of Kentucky, a great professional basketball player, Hall of Famer Cliff Hagan on my right, Bill Olson, who's made some athletic contributions to the University of Louisville. One of them was bringing Darrell Griffith along. I bet you wish you had him tonight. Things are not looking good right now.
We could use Griffith. I don't know if that'd be enough in the second half, but I wish we did have him with us tonight. That would certainly help us give back.
What was your impression of the way Louisville played in the first half?
Kind of typical of what you expect early in the season. I'm not really surprised that it's been kind of awkward and a lot of errors, and that's what we expected, really.
Good point. It is early in the season, Cliff Hagan, and you've got to be pretty impressed nonetheless with the way your ball club has played in this first half.
Well, I certainly am impressed, but it is early in the season. We're going to get a lot better because Bowie is not really 100%. He's about 70%. Blackman, just a freshman coming in and doing what he's done is remarkable. He's going to get better. And Dickie Beal, who may or may not play tonight. Winston Bennett has a sprained ankle. So these cats are just going to get better.
Nonetheless, a 15-point advantage at this point is Kentucky's in pretty good shape. Now, Bill, you've wanted this game for a long time. Why is that?
Well, I think when you have two teams that are as close as we are, that have had great programs over the years, like both Kentucky and Louisville have had, the times warrant that you play. I think policies and philosophies that have been established years in the past are due to be evaluated, and that change needs to be made from time to time. That's good. I think the economies that we all exist under dictate that schools that are close to each other play each other, and I think that's one reason. The tradition of Kentucky's great program over the years, and the same at Louisville. It's a shame that the fans have been deprived this long of a game like this.
Well, we've got it now. I, for one, agree with you, but Cliff Hagan, tell me now, your school didn't seem to want to see this matchup for a long time. What finally changed your minds, other than the fact that there was a bill in the legislature that said you guys are going to play?
Well, the bill had nothing to do with it. Our athletics board voted to play the game, and so Bill and I got together and scheduled the game. It was simply a matter of policy that we did not play in-state schools since, I guess, way back in the 20s, and we've carried on with that policy. But there's nothing so strong as an idea whose time has come. And I think the Louisville program, Denny Crum, has helped bring that idea along. They've sustained the program. In years past, they've not sustained that kind of program. Sometimes Western would have a great program. Murray, Eastern, even Moorhead would have a great program, but they've consistently now for the last 10 years or so had a good program there, going to the Final Four. You can't ignore things like that. So we got on with the business at hand, and we got it going tonight.
Well, it seems like the emotions here. You would think this was the national championship game. I'd like to thank Bill Olson, Cliff Hagan for joining me. We'll be back with Paul Ryden right after this. This is Turner Network Television.
The score at halftime, Kentucky 35, Louisville 20, but despite that, we've still got a pretty happy crowd here at the Red Barn in Louisville, where the Cardinal fans remember that last March, the Cardinals came back from 7 points down at halftime to beat Kentucky, so obviously they feel they're still not out of it. Now, this is a happy crowd, despite the fact that they're trailing by 15 points, and a crowd that was even letting some cheers during commercial breaks. So they're still up and still feel excited. But now, before we go to the experts and hear what they think about the first half, let's hear what these folks think about the first half. What did you think about that first half?
It reminded me a lot of last year, but UK came out and surprised us a little with the speed. But I think it'll work like last year. We'll come out and pressure them. We'll take control of the ball game, and we might go to overtime again, but U of L will win.
Okay, so now despite the strong despite the strong feeling to their ears and air of neutrality at the concession stand, where this T-shirt in sale, it says, if one don't get them, the other one will. I'm talking about Kentucky and Louisville, and by the end of the night, that motto will come true. Kevin, let's go back to you in Lexington.
All right, Paul, now we've heard the reaction of the Louisville fans. We've had the reactions of the athletic directors. The Kentucky fans' reaction is obvious. Let's see what Skip Carey and Joe Dean have to say about the first half. Skip and Joe.
Okay, Kevin, thank you very much, and we hope Paul makes it out of there okay. Joe, it's really fundamental, but it must be said, when you can't make baskets, you don't figure to be ahead, and that's been Louisville's problem.
No question. I thought two things there. That Bowie intimidated them a little bit early, so they didn't go inside to Jones as much as I thought they should have. Kentucky surprised them with some man pressure, and they did a pretty good job with it. You're right, though. Lancaster and Garden and Wagner have 4 points at the half. They're much better than that, and they've got some good shots. They just didn't go down.
Wagner finally got his first basket in the last minute, and maybe that'll get him started. I think it should be pointed out, as that fan at the Red Barn said, and we're not alibiing for Louisville, but historically, Denny's teams have started very slowly, and they're a much better team than they've shown tonight and will be as the season goes along. But Kentucky will get better, too, and they have looked very, very good.
Well, Bowie particularly looked good passing. His timing was off in some things, but you're going to see a lot of pressure from Louisville the second half. They had a little momentum at the end of the half. They made the last 2 baskets, so maybe we'll see the good comeback by the Cardinals.
Well, we hope so, because we're having some fun. 35-20 is our score. Kentucky leads Louisville. We'll be back with more halftime activities from the Rupp Arena right after this. There's your halftime score. It's 35-20 with Kentucky on top. And they have been definitely the better team in the first 20 minutes of basketball. You'll see some of the reasons why. Well, there's the Twin Towers, and that's what Joe was talking about, the early intimidation by Turpin and by Sam Bowie.
Here's Kenny Walker. He was 5 for 7 from the field in the first half. He simply beat Charlie Jones to the basket. He didn't cut him off on the baseline, and he stuffed it.
And he's just a baby who figures to get better as things go along. Bowie, for a big man, passes the ball exceptionally well and finds Walker again here.
Good pass. He backed in real well. Good touch, and he's excellent from about 8 or 10 feet. And what a pass this was. The timing was perfect as Melvin Turpin stuffed it for Kentucky.
Roger Harden made that good pass. 35-20 is our score at halftime as we look once again at the good Kentucky defense. There's one of their many steals, 2 in a row by that kid, James Blackman, the freshman. And Kentucky has had it all its own way to this point, quite frankly. They lead it 35-20 at halftime, and we'll be back with more from the Rupp Arena right after these important words.
Well, the first half stats, you can see the field goals, and it's what Skip and I have been talking about. Cardinals 10 of 33, just 30.3%. Very, very poor. Kentucky 12 of 27, 44.5%.
No free throws by Louisville. 11 of 14 by Kentucky. Excellent. 78.6%. Rebounding, and that's the only thing that kept Louisville in it. And as you said, Skip, if anything kept them in it, 24-17, turnovers 9-5. The assists were 5. Wildcats, Kentucky 9, and I might mention Sam Bowie had 4 of those to lead. Kentucky with 5 steals, and Blackman had 2 of those, and both turned into baskets. Blocked shots. Kentucky 3 to Louisville's 2.
And this is a game where the statistics, I think, really do tell a story. The terrible shooting of the Louisville guards, and that's supposed to be and will be as the season goes on their strong point. They're just 2 out of 16. And the ineffectiveness of their inside game is pointed out by the fact that they had absolutely no free throws shot because they never got the ball inside or were unable to take it to the basket. Now you see the individual scoring. Good balance for Kentucky. Well, we've got 20 more minutes of basketball left. The Cardinals are going to have to get it going in a hurry.
Well, you're right, Skip. Gordon was 1 of 7, Wagner 1 of 6, and Hall, Jeff Hall, who came in off the bench and who's an excellent outside shooter, was 0 of 3. So the guards didn't give it to him, and you're right, they didn't get it inside, and they must make some steals off their press in the second half, and they must get it inside more.
Blackman starts for Kentucky in the second half. The freshman has showed us such good advantage in the first period. 35-20 is our score. Blackman plays Milt Wagner. This is Manuel Forrest. We'll set him for you a couple times down. Lancaster Gordon with the ball. Charles Jones up top, and Bowie with the steal.
Kentucky man-to-man defensively. It was a bad pass, but give credit to the defense. Bowie overplayed, and he got the steal.
Kentucky looks like they're in mid-season form after a slow start in this game. Kenny Walker, they're in no hurry with a 15-point lead. Want to get a good shot. They do, and a foul is called, and Bowie's on the deck. And he's all right. That leg is 100% healed after 2 years of agony, but he's okay now.
All it needs now is time. He just needs to work, a lot of running, conditioning, get his timing back. He made a beautiful cut from the weak side, got the good pass, but he couldn't get it to go down, was fouled as he put it up.
Third foul on Manuel Forrest. 2 shots for Bowie. They are now 11 of 15 at the foul line. Bowie is 2 out of 3. He's yet to set the basket in the game. What scares future opponents of Kentucky is that he's not yet ready. He's not in shape and has not played for 2 years in game conditions. So he's going to do nothing but get better. Charles Jones forces his way in, can't buy it. Forrest, that won't go. Next rebound, chips out to Blackman, and he's off one-on-one with Wagner. Fades wide to split the defense. Now we'll set it up. He's double-teamed in the corner, and he's in some trouble, and he threw it off the leg of a Louisville player and made a good play. A lot of composure for a freshman.
You mentioned Bowie, and when you see his stats as a sophomore, he led this team in scoring, and he led them in rebounding. Beautiful trap here. Thompson has him trapped and coming back out court. Wagner has him trapped on the baseline. He threw it against Thompson's leg, and it was kicked out of bounds. Smart play, as you mentioned, Skip, and he's just a freshman. He played in the sports festival this summer and had some international competition, and it really has helped him. He doesn't look like a freshman.
Bowie up high. Master had a shot, passed it up, found Turpin, who's triple teamed, and shot it short. And a foul will be called on Bowie, I believe. Yes. Sam picks up his first foul of the game.
I think they want him to go to the glass, though. He come pouring in there. He did it just a bit, fouled, and we've got a 16-point lead. The biggest lead of the game was 19 points at 35-16.
Back door, Walker was there. Let's see if everybody's all right after that collision.
Bowie again. Weak side help by Bowie. They're checking to see if one of the players. But I think he's all right. Manuel Forrest took a knee there, but he's okay.
So Kentucky heads up the floor. We have 18:15 remaining.
Better hurry.
Blackman gets across the line. Now that trapping defense is in earnest. 18:05 remaining.
You notice they brought Bowie up and lobbed to him high, and it's awful tough to defend that. That cuts down that pressure tremendously.
17:50 remaining in our game. Joe Dean, Skip Carey with you from the Rupp Arena, where Kentucky leads Louisville 36-20. The The foul will be on Bowie.
Bowie is trying to move inside here, and he's being guarded very closely by Manuel Forrest. Bowie ran over him, and they called him for charging. It'll be Louisville's ball out of bounds on the side. That's Bowie's second foul.
And a timeout will be called here. Timeout on the floor. We have 17:43 remaining in the game. And with timeout, your score, Kentucky 36, Louisville 20. $17:43 remaining in the game. Kentucky leads it 36-20. And the Cardinals will inbound as play resumes. Against Kentucky pressure. Kenny Walker will play Forrest. Now the pressure dissolves, and Gordon brings it up the floor against Jim Master. Up high, Charles Jones handles it. Wagner. Thompson has his pocket picked by Walker. He's off to the races. Can Thompson catch him? Yes, but he had to foul to do it. And the official is knocked into the crowd, but he's all right.
It's a tough break, really, for Billy Thompson. I like what Louisville's trying to do. They're trying to take it in low, and they must do that just a little bit more. He was trying to drive there. He faked left, went back right, but the ball hit his knee, was kicked away, and there's Kenny Walker trying to take it all the way. His foul from behind by Billy Thompson, and Walker will shoot two, and that's his fourth foul. And they just really can't afford to lose him because he's been one of the big forces on the glass for the Louisville Cardinals.
And Mark McSwain checks into the game. The freshman will be under the gun here. Walker out of Roberta, Georgia, has his 11th point of the night. He leads all scorers.
In fact, Thompson was 2 of 4 from the field in the first half, and he had 4 rebounds.
Walker 1 out of 3 at the foul line. 37-20 is the score. Charles Jones trying to force it inside. Can't do it. Here's Walker again. Blackman, great pass. Walker the basket. Oh, that Blackman looks like he's been in the NBA 10 years. Again, a 19-point lead. McSwain gets the basket back and bodies hit the floor.
You see how they're beating that press. They're bringing Bowie all the way down the court, and you're just lobbing to him. And it's just no way to stop it. Cuts it down quick.
They better hurry this time, though. And again, it's Blackman who gets the job done. 16:38 remaining. Kentucky can again build a 19-point lead. And away from the ball, a whistle.
Kenny Walker has hurt his knee, it looks like, and so they've got a timeout. It looks like we're going to have a substitute for him. Winston Bennett's going to come in the game for Kenny Walker. I don't know what the injury is, but he's limping off.
Well, he's had a history, they tell me, of back spasms, and that reverse dunk may have...
You're right.
He made just moments ago. He might have done himself in. We won't know for sure until after the game.
But what poise by this Blackman, and what passing he's done in quickness. He walked there, though.
Always happens as soon as you brag on somebody, right? First law of announcing. You're going to get picked off every now and then.
And he definitely shuffled his feet. He was too anxious. 39-22, 16:27 to go in the game.
And if the Cardinals are going to get it done, they better get it going here pretty quick. Wagner and Gordon have not been the factories in this game, but I at least thought they would be. But you got to give Kentucky some credit for that. Their defense has been outstanding.
Master, Blackman, Harden have done a good job. A lot of pressure.
Bowie with the interception. Boy, they're playing some defense. Master. Yes. It's 41-22. Gordon at the other end. A foul on Master, I believe, prior to the shot. Let's see. Master's second foul.
Third team foul against Kentucky. Louisville just 2 so far in the second half, and Jeff Hall is going to come in for Milt Wagner.
And so far, things not getting any better at all for the Cardinals. And Manuel Forrest gets the jumper away. McSwain, offensive foul, drawn by Bowie.
Bowie has done a lot of things in this game. He was the one that made the steal the last trip down by Louisville that really created that basket for Master. He's passed well. He set him up there. Beautiful. Charge. He ran over him. Kentucky ball.
They are doing everything right. And again, as Joe so aptly pointed out, Bowie back to help out. But this time, the Cardinals get a steal.
First time the pressure's paid off. They need more of that to get back in it.
Lancaster Gordon pops one home.
You know, he finally got set. His body motion was good. It looks like early he's been shooting just a little bit off balance. Really didn't have the flow of things. His rhythm wasn't as good as it needs to be a great shooter. And rhythm is so important, and there's a good shot of the Louisville Cardinal bench.
Time call for a moment to get some moisture off the deck, and now we'll have back at it with 15:22 left. And now you see that pressure all the time. Louisville, they have no choice, and a foul on Jeff Hall.
It's interesting the way they're shutting down this full court pressure. Just lobbing to the big guy, and then he turns, and they have the ball in court. People start moving off of him, and he's an excellent passer. It's a good move by Kentucky Wildcats.
Foul was on Hall, his first, team fourth.
Time called again to get the deck cleared up.
Blackman's the trigger man underneath.
And now we're ready to have at it. 15:20 left in the game. Kentucky by 17. This time they get it into Master and back to Blackman, and they clear it out. Or should, and just let him operate one-on-one. Master gets across the line in time. And just in time, by the way. 15:05 remaining. Down under, Blackman broke away, blew the layup, gets another chance. And he's got 6. 43-24. And away from the ball, a foul on Winston Bennett, shoving Manuel Forrest.
That's a good matchup. They've really been going at each other. Both about the same size. Both very physical, very rugged. And, of course, Winston Bennett from Louisville, Kentucky wants so much to have a good night.
It's 43-24. 14:40 left, and Jeff Hall tries for his first point tonight. Can't get there. And Bowie comes out of there with the ball. He is a horse.
Mid-season, he could be unbelievable. He's done so much in this game.
Winston Bennett finds Turpin. Yes.
Beautiful pass, but he set the defensive player up. He showed him the ball. Jones went for it, and then he came back up, and what touch. He can really stick it in. 19-point lead with 14 minutes to go in this game.
And a foul on Blackman. You know, I know a few folks who are watching this game tonight and not enjoying it at all, and that's all the other SEC coaches who are watching the Kentucky team.
Well, they picked them in a runaway, Skip, to win the Southeastern Conference Championship. They picked LSU second, Auburn and Georgia third, depending on who you looked at in the polls, and they look like they're the best team in this league at this point. A lot of talent, a lot of size, and a lot of depth.
Roger Harden back in the game as Blackman came out. And came out with great applause, and Winston Bennett with that steal, and Louisville is struggling. 13:50 remaining. Kentucky has its biggest lead of 21, and they threaten to get more. Bennett got his own rebound. Fakes. Got it blocked. And a foul.
Let's don't sell this Kentucky Cardinal team short. They normally do start just a little bit slow, and they've been cold here tonight. They've had 12 straight 20-win years. In 10 of those years, they went to the NCAA tournament, and the other 2, they went to the NIT. And Denny Crum is well known for bringing a team along, and from about mid-season on, they can really be tough. So don't count this team out, because they're going to be a good one before it's over.
Mark McSwain picked up his 4th foul, and Bennett will have another chance.
Bennett just a little tight. First player to sign from Louisville in a long, long time. He was a big catch.
Danny Mitchell into the game, McSwain out. So both McSwain and Billy Thompson saddled with 4 fouls. No Kentucky player has any more than the 3 on James Blackman. 13:40 left. He missed them both, and the rebound. Turpin keeps it alive, and Harden saves it. Oh, boy, a brilliant pass.
Beautiful. Look at them. That's unbelievable. What movement of the ball.
The Twin Towers worked in concert that time. They're on their feet here once more. 47-24. Harden almost stole it. Great Kentucky defense. Gordon knocked away. Another steal for Kentucky.
And give it to the D. It's aggressive. Even Bowie's outguarding a forward and denying the guard the forward pass.
Boy, do they look sensational. Down to 12:38. The Louisville team looks stunned. Bowie. Bennett kept it alive momentarily. It goes out of bounds and belongs to the Cardinals. It's gotten no better at all for Louisville. They have but 4 points in 7.5 minutes in the second half. And while they've been ice cold, it must be reported that Kentucky has rattled them badly.
No question about it. You've got to give some credit, as we mentioned at the half. An excellent Kentucky defense. They came out man-to-man, and they have, it's been karate. They've gone after them.
Danny Mitchell will inbound for the Cardinals as play resumes here.
They weren't hitting outside. They tried to go inside, and of course, the Twin Towers shut all that down.
This is Gordon. He's been held well in check. Manuel Forrest. They cannot get a shot up. 12:15 remaining. Yet another steal. This one by Kenny Walker is back in the game, so whatever his physical problems were moments ago were not serious. The Wildcats are putting on some clinic here this evening. Master. Turpin kept it alive and gets another chance. The Cardinals now know how General Custer felt. That may be offensive goaltending. It is no basket.
Everything's gone wrong. Jones put up a shot. It played ring around the rosy. Look at it. Just wouldn't go down, and they touched it on the ring. And when we come back, Skip, it's going to be Kentucky's ball out of bounds.
11:39 left. Kentucky 49, Louisville 24. This is Turner Network Television. .39 remaining in the game. 49-24 Kentucky is our score. And Joe, I'm not knocking Louisville. I don't know if they're playing this badly or if Kentucky is this good. And if Kentucky's this good, they may be, if they're not the best team in the nation, they are, as Dizzy Dean once said, amongst them.
They're among them, you're right. And if it's true, and the rebounding's still a little bit of an edge to Louisville, but you saw the steals, and the defense has done that. 12-2 in the steals. And you're right, if Kentucky isn't among the great teams in this country, we've got to see who's number one, because at this point, particularly with the two giants inside, it's just amazing what they're able to do. But the thing that makes it click is the passing of Sam Bowie.
And Joe B. Hall tells us Bowie is nowhere near at 100% efficiency. 19 Louisville turnovers, and that is mostly caused by great play by the Wildcats.
And I think you'd agree, Skip, that in the last, say, 6-7 minutes of this game, Louisville really hasn't had a good shot at the basket.
And when they have, it's wound up right back in their face. We're not knocking them, you folks down the highway, but Kentucky is waxing them right now with 11:39 remaining.
How you going to knock them? They've won a national championship, and this man coaching there is in his 13th year. He's won 295 games. He's lost 78, 32-4 last year. He lost two of his great players, though, the McRae brothers, Rodney and Scooter, and they'll be back. They beat UCLA 59-54 in 1980, and as I mentioned, out of the last 12 years, they've gone to postseason tournaments, NCAA 10 times, NIT twice.
If this doesn't change tonight, you'll see Louisville on the tube somewhere before the winter is over, along about January, and you'll swear it's a different team, because they're going to be much better than they've been tonight. Against the pressure, it's beaten easily. Bennett finds Harden. His daddy played for the Indiana teams that Tom and Dick Van Arsdale starred for.
In the second half, Louisville is 2 of 6. Kentucky 6 of 11 from the field.
They have 4 points in what is just about to be 9 minutes. Milt Wagner back in the game in time to pick up a foul holding Winston Bennett.
That's the 16th foul on Louisville. So from this point on, Kentucky will be 1-1.
Wagner picks up his 3rd foul of the night. 11:04 remaining. 4 points in 9 minutes of second half play for the Cardinals. $10:55 remaining. Master puts it up. Bingo.
Oh, he can drill it from there. You let him get set, and he'll fill it full all night long. Biggest lead of the night for Kentucky.
It's 51-24 as we pause for station identification. This is Turner Network Television.
And there's Bowie again.
$10:27 remaining in the contest, which has really not been much of a contest. Turpin's about to go. He may walk. Let's see. He did. He took a little hike, and the ball goes back to Louisville. Wagner will inbound it. Denny Crum, I'll tell you what, Joe, is going to have a little bit of a job to do. After this game, I think his team is stunned by the inability to get anything done. He's going to have to get them up and ready for action in the Metro and for the rest of the year.
The Metro's not easy because Memphis State is in that league, and they're ranked 5th, 6th, 7th in some preseason polls, and with Lee there, they're going to be very competitive. It's a tough league. South Carolina is now joining that league. It's an excellent addition.
Foul against the Cardinals, and 1-1 time is the result. Charles Jones picked it up. It's his first foul of the night. And Kentucky shoots the bonus. While we have the time here, and speaking of the bonus, a couple of rules changes of interest that you might want to discuss with the fans, Joe.
Well, one thing, when we're on TV like tonight, instead of a team having 5 fouls in a game, they only get 3 because of the numerous TV timeouts.
You mean timeouts, not fouls, Steve.
I'm sorry, timeouts, not fouls. Thank you, Skip. Also, in the last 2 minutes of the game, all fouls are 2-shot fouls if the team is in the bonus. For example, right now, if Louisville's committed a 7 and over, so if we were in the last 2 minutes and there was just a common foul, it would be 2 shots automatically instead of 1 and 1. That's quite a change from last year.
53-26, and we have exactly 10 minutes left.
Has to take some pressure off the official so that he doesn't have to decide whether it's an automatic foul or not at the end of a game.
Speaking of which, well, take your pick. Both Turpin and Bowie were there for that one.
And a foul on Wagner against Master.
Wagner has been ineffective. He has 2 points and 4 fouls. And it's 1-1 time again. 9:47 remaining.
I thought they were definitely intimidated a little bit early. They tried to get it inside, and Bowie and Turpin both said no. And then the thing that really hurt them was they got absolutely 0 outside shooting from their guards. They were like 2 of 16 from outside from their 3 guards, and you just can't win anywhere shooting the ball outside. And it wouldn't open up the inside for them. It just made it very difficult. Of course, the Kentucky defense was excellent.
Master has 12. There's the Twin Towers doing their thing once more. And Master tries again. 55-26. Can you believe it? Jeff Hall finally gets his first points of the night. It's 55-28 with 9:28 left in the game. Master goes baseline on Hall. Harden with the ball up top. He's the Kentucky playmaker. Turpin to Bowie to Turpin. To Bowie. To Bowie. And traveling on Turpin. So the Cardinals bring it up with 9 minutes remaining.
Referee's talking to Turpin. He was questioning the call. He couldn't figure out. He moved his pivot foot, though, before he put the ball down, and he didn't realize it. But I like that. The official very calmly said, here's what you did.
Well, I started to say a moment ago, we haven't noticed the officials tonight. That means they're doing an excellent job. So is Mr. Poole. Turpin almost got to that. And Bennett for the rebound. What an awesome performance by the Wildcats. 8.5 minutes remaining. Master hangs in the air. It won't go. Bennett puts it up. No luck. And young Barry Sumter, the freshman from Lovejoy, Illinois, with the rebound. And Gordon is fouled as he misses by Bennett.
And he was fouled just as he put it up. So Lancaster Garden will go to the line and shoot a pair. Winston Bennett, he got back just a little bit slow on defense. And there's Joe Hall there, kind of questioning him a little bit. There's Hall underneath. Rejection right there by Bowie. And he's done it all night long.
Kentucky will be in search of its 35th SEC basketball title. SEC play begins.
And that's incredible in itself. They've won more college games than anybody that's ever played the game. 1,329 wins.
Master touched it last, I think. Or is a foul call? Let's see. Yeah, I guess they called a foul on Jim Master.
The Kentucky guards tonight really just haven't completely worn it out. Master just 4 of 12, which is unusual for him. Harden is yet to shoot. Blackman 3 for 5, and he's had a good night, and he just came in for Master. And that's 7 for 19 for the guards for Kentucky. But Louisville, 2 of 8 for Garden, 1 of 8 for Wagner, 1 of 7 for Hall, 4 of 23. And in that lies a great deal of the story with Louisville's problems here in Rupp Arena in Lexington, KY.
Barry Sumter looks for his first points of the night. Negatory. That, by the way, is the first free throw of the night shot by the Cardinals. 7:42 left in the contest. Bennett forces it, can't get it. And here come the Cardinals. Lancaster Gordon in control. Bennett made the block. Let's see who the foul is on. Bennett and Blackman both were there.
I think they may have called charging on Lancaster Garden.
That's what it is. Blackman held his position.
Blocked by Winston Bennett, but he ran over Blackman underneath. We're going to shoot 1-1 at the Kentucky basket with 7:30. Coach Denny Crum and his All-American candidate Lancaster Garden.
It will be Blackman at the foul line for 2.
Number 24.
And it's 1-1 tie. Wagner with a nice drive.
Basket
the
good.
Basket counts and a foul on Wagner, I believe.
Charging. He's shaking his head. It should be his fifth, Skip.
I've got him for 5.
Show it to you again. Little shake and bake. He just took it down the gut. Good shot, but he did. He definitely ran over underneath. But the ball had been released. The basket's good. Lead now cut 55-30, if it's such a thing as cutting the lead with 7:23 to go.
So Wagner fouls out with 7:23 remaining and with 4 points. And he cannot be at all happy with his night's work. Meanwhile, Kenny Walker goes to the foul line, shooting the 1-and-1 for the Cats, who lead it by 25. They led by 15 at the break. And they have put on some show in the Rupp Arena tonight. Bear up with the rebound. Walker gets another chance. He can't buy.
Good block. Sumter, the freshman, rejection. Beautiful. String music by Hall. He threw it all the way across the defense. He spotted up so well. He was ready to shoot with the ball in the air in flight, and he drilled it. Beautiful.
Bear up out of Centerport, New York in the game now, wearing number 24 for Kentucky. He's seen little playing time tonight. 6:50 remaining, a 55-32 margin. Bowie has it knocked loose, gets it back as Gordon tried to bang it off his body. Bear up missed the jumper. And Charles Jones the rebound. The Cardinals suddenly look a little better. 2 in a row for Hall.
He can shoot. He's starting to warm up. He was 1 for 7, and all of a sudden he's 2 in a row.
And with that, Turpin and Master get ready to get back into the game.
Lead cut to 21.
For Kentucky, 6:15 left. It always seems to happen when you get a big lead, unconsciously let up a little bit.
It's too easy. The other team has to turn it into a war. And that's what Louisville's tried to do.
Bowie is fouled by Sumter. It's prior to the basket. He'll go to the line for the 1-and-1.
He had good position on the freshman, used his body perfectly. The pass was away from the defensive player. He turned around to jam it, but was fouled before he shot. He'll shoot 1-and-1.
So now Turpin checks back in to team with Bowie and Bennett. And Blackman and Master.
You know, Skip, Joe Hall has averaged 22.7 wins per year since he took over from the legendary Adolph Rupp, and everyone said that it couldn't be done here. And that's more wins per season than Rupp had. And there are still those who maybe question just a little bit how successful that he has been. And he's won a national tournament, the NCAA, he's won an NIT. What success he's had here.
Bowie drops the free throw. That's always tough, no matter how good you do when you follow a giant. There are some who will always compare you unfavorably.
Of course, this school has won 5 NCAA championships, and only UCLA has more.
Timeout is called here with 5:58 remaining in the game. Timeout on the floor, and your score. The Wildcats of Kentucky, 57. The Cardinals of Louisville, 34. .558 remaining in the game. It's 57-34 Kentucky. Well, the game hasn't been close, but the beauty of the cheerleaders from the respective schools is neck and neck.
Very close. A lot of 10s out there.
And the way things have been going the last few minutes, I've been paying a good deal of attention to.
A lot of fans probably wonder, you're looking at the Louisville bench huddle with Denny Crum. What's he tell his team with just under 6 minutes, and he's down 57-34. And I think he's saying that we've got 25 more games to go. Let's work on our game. Let's do some basic fundamental things well. Let's just don't throw it up and go crazy. Let's learn from this game tonight.
Billy Thompson is back in there for Louisville with Jones and Sumter and Hall and Gordon.
finally got the ball inside to Charles Jones. Gave him a chance to operate a little bit. It wouldn't go down, and he's had a lot of tough luck tonight on his shots. They've rolled all over and wouldn't go in. To give you an idea of the rebounding strength of the two big men for Kentucky, Bowie's had 8 boards and Turpin 9.
Jones registered his 5th point of the night. No Louisville player has any more than 6. Turpin with 16, the leading scorer in the game. So it's 57-36. Louisville with desperate pressure. Bowie is double teamed. Clears it to Master, and now Kentucky will endeavor to get across the line. Blackman's got some problems. Bowie gets it across. .25 left. Open jump for Master. They play a little 2-man game. 3 Kentucky players had that basketball surrounded and let it get away.
Good example there, though, Bowie's lack of timing. He just couldn't quite handle it. Hands not quite as good as he'd like for them to be.
We're down to 5:05 in the contest. Gordon gets the hoop.
That's the Lancaster Gordon we know. Nothing but bottom. Came off of a pick real well. Pass was perfect. He came off shooting and he got the bottom. Beautiful. Lead is 19.
Again, Bowie handles the inbounds pass. Dribbles through some traffic. Next Jones. They get it to the front court, and it's slapped away by Gordon. And let's see what we've got.
Winston Bennett shoving off. And Lancaster Gordon, who almost had a steal, he's going to go down and shoot 1-1 for the University of Louisville. And a chance to cut into that big lead.
They have slipped in and taken some of the momentum away from Kentucky.
You see it right here. Here's the replay. Well, he did. You can see the left hand. He pushed off. He couldn't believe it, but he did. He's a very rugged kid and plays hard.
Gordon tries to get him to within 17. That hurts. It's knocked out of bounds by Kentucky, and Louisville has another chance. Master touched it last. 4:34 remaining in the game. And Joe Hall wants to utilize a timeout here. He doesn't like the way things have gone in the last couple of minutes. 4:34 remaining in the contest. Timeout on the floor, and your score. Kentucky 57, Louisville 38. This is Turner Network Television. .34 remaining. Kentucky leads it by 19, 57-38. Well, Louisville showed some signs of life here, but they don't have much time left. They're going to have to get hot in a hurry. They're going to have to put a lot of pressure on, and they're already in the bonus, and so they're in a lot of trouble.
Looked like they put the momentum together and a little move when it was maybe too late, Skip. The lead was way up there, almost 30, and they have cut it down to just under 20, but it's too late, I'm afraid, with just 4.5 minutes to go. And as you mentioned, Kentucky's leading 57-38, but chance here to cut it to 17.
As someone once said, it's never over till it's over. Jeff Hall, they're going to go in a hurry here. Thompson tries to force it inside and throws it away, and that doesn't help their cause. Denny Crum argues the ball was deflected, but gets no satisfaction.
Give credit to the defense again. They put on good pressure. Here's Dickie Beal for the first time.
Coming off knee surgery. And they get it across the line.
He talks about that he still has his good speed and quickness, but laterally he still has some problems, and he has a slight limp.
He wears number 11 for Kentucky. 3:55 remaining. Field just 5'11" out of Covington. Great ball handler. 3:45 left. Kentucky lets the air out a little bit here.
54.
And away from the ball, a foul on Turpin.
In the second half, Kentucky is 7 of 20,
from the field. U of L 8 of 19. Rebounding is even at 15 all. And turnovers, Louisville 10, Kentucky just 6. And the game's gotten just a little bit sloppy now.
It's the bonus at both ends and 1-on-1 time for the Cardinal. Sumter will go to the foul line, where he is 0 for 1 tonight. Bowie high in the air for the rebound. 3:38 remaining. It is now a walk in the park for the Wildcats.
They've got Bowie on that high post, so they've always got the outlet anytime they're in trouble. He just steps up and they can kick it to him high.
He hands it back to Beal. Bowie had it knocked loose, gets it back. Draws a lot of company, and Bennett goes to the hole, spins and misses. Thompson with the ball. Lancaster Gordon hangs in the air, and he's suddenly found his touch.
Beautiful basket. Lead 17, 250.
57-40 our score.
Kentucky hasn't had a basket in a while.
Traveling on Master.
Good defense then by Charles Jones. He just stepped into the lane of Jim Master and forced him to turn it over. Watch him step out. See him step out. Good defense. He's guarding back against Turpin, but when he saw the cut coming, he stepped out into the lane and shut it down. Chance to cut it to 15.
Thompson. That won't go, but Sumter has it inside. Blocked by Bowie. A 2-on-1, Beal and Master. It's Master. A foul on Sumter and a two-shot opportunity, and they ran the break very nicely.
There you saw the big Giants inside again. They got another rejection. Ball was kicked out. Dickie Beal brought it linked to the court, and he's one of the better open court players right there. He kicks it to Master, but the freshman Sumter got a good block from behind, but fouled him in the process.
Saved a certain basket with that play, nonetheless. So Master shoots 2. Jim has 13 in the game, which has just 2 minutes, 17 seconds remaining.
Skip for you, that looked like bullseye.
That's for our buddy John Schooling. Raise it on. 58-40, 2:17 left. $15 for Master. And a timeout will be called here. 2:17 remaining in the game. Timeout on the floor, and our score, Kentucky 59, Louisville 40. $2:17 remaining. It's been all Kentucky tonight. Incidentally, the Wildcats lead the season series 9-4. You look at the scoring later. There's nobody in double figures for Louisville.
Would you have believed coming in here tonight with 2:17 to go that Louisville would just have 40 points on the scoreboard?
No, Kentucky has really been an impressive unit here tonight. I guess we've said that more than enough, but they have.
But it's true.
They've waxed them.
And they did it with good defense. They did it with a couple of Giants who have learned each other very well. Good movement of the ball, and particularly by Sam Bowie. Excellent passer from the high post.
And now Kentucky can give Beal a little work. As Hall crosses the line for desperate Louisville, too. These two teams could get together again before it's all over. Somewhere along the line in NCAA play. tournament play. Beal battles for it, had it, lost it. It was touched last by Hall, and so Kentucky has the ball with 1:51 remaining. Now with both teams in the bonus, just to point out that new rule for you again. Any foul in these final 2 minutes results not in a 1-1, but in 2 shots. Turpin back to help out, and Beal gets to the front door.
You saw that quickness, and that's why he is so good at breaking that press. Just super in the open court.
Bowie, a good pass. Master fouled as he misses it.
Backdoor cut on the weak side. They hit Bowie with the pass. Beautiful pass to Jim Master, cutting on the weak side. There he is. He's wide open. He's fouled there, and he's fouled there. He'll shoot 2.
He would shoot 2 in this case anyway.
That's right.
A shooting foul, but had it been a loose ball or some other kind of foul,
exactly,
also would shoot the deuce. 1:37 left. Master now with 16.
Replaces Charles Jones.
The youngster McSwain back into the game. Mark McSwain from Atlanta replaces Charles Jones for the Cardinals. If they don't meet again this year, these two teams will have at it in Louisville's Freedom Hall next season. It's a 4-year contract between the two schools.
And the same thing exists there. Kentucky just gets a handful of tickets. Louisville season ticket holders will control that action.
Thompson can't bat. Winston Bennett the rebound.
Skip, I think he was totally intimidated. He saw the big guy coming at him, and he just kind of changed his shot. It wasn't the same, and it wouldn't go down.
I think it's safe to say that it's cocktail hour in Lexington.
There's a lot of them are saying that right now. I can assure you.
They've been saying it since about 9 o'clock this morning. Minute remaining in the game. 55 seconds left. Kentucky has opened in impressive fashion.
And this partisan crowd, they've absolutely loved it. They came early, and they may stay a while.
As will we with post-game interviews and highlights. 30 seconds remain. Lancaster Gordon with the steal. McSwain. He now has 8 points. As he breaks it.
That's where they were taking the pressure off the official. He was trying to get the ball, but obviously an intentional foul, so he's automatically going to shoot 2 at the other end.
Second foul on Hall.
Master at the line for 2 free throws.
18 seconds remaining. A long night for that gentleman, and that's what he is, a gentleman, Danny Clark.
And one of the fine coaches in this country. 2 of the really great ones going against each other. Great records. Great records in the season throughout the years, and great tournament records, both of them.
James Jeter gets into the game, a sophomore out of Radcliffe, Kentucky. And Lancaster Gordon goes up. Gordon leaves with 8 points in the contest. Now James Blackman will check back in for Kentucky. And Robbie Valentine, a sophomore out of Radcliffe, into the game for Louisville. Jeff Hall goes up. 18 seconds remaining. Blackman is not in the game yet. He will enter for Master if this free throw is successful. It is, and he does. Master leaves with 19 points and scoring honors for Kentucky. A lot of quickness out there now, and I bet we'll see this again before the year's over. Beal and Blackman in there together. McSwain puts another one to rest. The youngster leads Louisville with 10 points, and the foul is called against the Cardinals, James Jeter. And as we said, it's cocktail hour in Lexington.
And there they go.
6 seconds remaining. It's 63-44. The first of 2 by Beal is good. McKinley, junior from Independence, Kentucky, gets into the game for the Cats. Sam Bowie goes up.
And to a standing ovation, I might add.
Freshman Paul Andrews about to check into the game as well. And James Blackman goes up. Andrews, a freshman out of London, Kentucky.
Coach Hall giving a lot of these players a chance to hear the roar of the crowd.
Tom Heitz, junior from Hamilton, Indiana, at 6'9", in for Kentucky as well. Beal has his first points of the night. 4, 3, 2, 1. It is over. Kentucky has hammered Louisville. The final score, 65-44. Joe Hall, Denny Crum shake hands at midcourt. And this has been a big night for the University of Kentucky. They win it 65-44. Totals and highlights right after this.
From Xerox.
Okay, we'll be back in 30 seconds here when Joe Dean will visit with Joe Hall and some of his players. We'll be back in just a little while.